Okay, type 4, the romantic. If you want the download, storybrand.com/Enneagram, the romantic.
Yeah. So I just did a couple of corporate events.
You are a 4, we should say.
I am a 4. With like you said, a very heavy
Very strong 3-wing, yeah.
So I just did a couple of corporate events, and at the only one where there were a good number of 4s was at a record label, a big record label. I rarely
working
see
in
4s.
the environment, yeah.
I rarely see 4s in big major corporations, which is a blind spot, I think, for
because
some
they
of them.
offer something.
Oh yeah.
What do they offer?
Well, you don't find a more creative, imaginative,
I agree
innovative, thoughtful person.
And it comes off as brilliance often.
It can, yeah.
Especially if they're reflecting on their own lives.
Mm-hmm.
You have Susie on my staff earlier today told me that your book, your memoir, is her favorite book. And you're
Really?
and you're an Enneagram 4.
Yep.
That was Jesus, My Father, the CIA, and Me.
Yeah.
That's Ian's early book. And then I wrote a bunch of memoirs too, which Susie didn't mention.
But you noticed.
I actually did notice then. I'm only noticing now because she's in the corner of the studio here. But they're great at reflecting on their lives and pulling really beautiful things out of it. And I might add, in a kind of selfless way, because they're actually reflecting on their lives, finding the common ground they have with the reader.
Yeah.
If you really write a book reflecting on your life, nobody's going to read it. It's going to be the most boring book ever. You won't even be entertained by it.
Right.
But when you actually find the common ground between us as human beings, 4s are great at that.
Right. Connecting at the heart.
Connecting at the heart.
Yeah.
Also, if you have like an ad campaign, you're doing branding, not marketing, branding.
Yes.
4s empathize and understand.
Right.
They can be kind of the radar of all 9 types, in the sense that they know how a 9 is feeling, they know how an 8's feeling, they know how a 2's feeling. If they're older and they've processed some things, they know how it feels. You can take a male 4 who's 50 years old and say, describe to me what you think postpartum depression might feel like, and they will have an idea.
Yeah, and not only that, but the chances are they'll articulate it beautifully and from a really deep heart place.
And empathy is enormous. It's a competitive advantage if you're thinking about empathy with your customers.
I'm glad you just mentioned that, because actually it's the secret sauce to communicating with other people and to relating to other people. Again, so a lot of times I'll meet with like different numbers in the Enneagram, 3s, 8s, and they're like, please, I don't want to hear all that stuff. Let's just get to the cell. And I'm like, you better know about empathy.
Yeah.
You better know about how other people see the world, and you better make that connection, or you're not going anywhere.
And how they're seeing you.
Absolutely.
Okay, do's and don'ts for a 4. Do's.
Yeah, so these are pretty creative, sensitive, and temperamental people. So you want to let them express their creativity, their depth, and their distinct style in the room. You definitely want to do that, and you want to take advantage of it for sure. You want to make sure that 4s know that you understand them, that you listen to them. So, for example, let's say they chime in and they got an idea, right? Mm-hmm. And as long as they know that you understood them and the idea, they're cool if you don't use it. But if you just kind of dismiss it or, don't stop to acknowledge it in some way, you'll put their nose out of joint pretty quick.
Yeah.
And I'd say, you want to really help them balance their emotional, in psychology we call it lability, right? We say their moodiness, right?
They can be a little moody.
Oh my gosh.
They ride the waves of their weather.
4s have more feelings in a minute than you have in a week. Okay, seriously. And I
have a strong 4-wing, so I understand.
And they can name them.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they're great in therapy. Therapists, we love them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just ask a question and an hour later it's over. You never got to say another thing. You know what I mean? But you do want them to balance their emotional depth with more critical thinking.
Okay.
For sure.
All right, and don'ts with a 4. Don't do this.
Yeah, never minimize a 4's feelings or tell them to cheer up when they're down. Because
don't tell them to cheer
because
up.
they're very hung up on authenticity.
Gotcha.
If you tell them to cheer up, what you're asking them to do is fake it.
Yeah, and they're not. They don't want to fake it.
Absolutely.
They feel like liars when they don't obey their emotional state.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and they actually are people usually of pretty good integrity. And they don't.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They want to be reconciled to who they really feel like they are.
Totally.
Maybe they over-empathize. I'm thinking of my 4-wing. Over-empathize with their own feelings sometimes and believe that's who they are.
Over-identify.
Over-identify. That's
they
what
actually, I am. It's not I have feelings. When they're not very healthy, it's I am my feelings.
Yeah.
You know?
I've been there.
Not a great thing.
Yeah. I wrote books from that place.
It worked.
my 4-wing.
Your 3 core actually leveraged and monetized your 4 gifts.
It's really hilarious because my 4 would say, "Oh, I'm such a loser," you know, and my 3 would be, "Yeah, but we can make money off this."
Totally. But can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
When you were working on books, when you do things, let's say you're walking off a stage, you've just given a talk. When you're walking toward the stairs, does your 4-wing begin to prosecute your 3-wing for not having been authentic on stage?
No.
Oh, that's interesting.
It might have been. There are times when I can identify with that, but no. I don't think so. My 3-wing will start critically thinking of the point that I should have brought home harder, or whatever.
Right. But you never nail yourself for kind of being a little bit of a schmoozer out there, or not.
Oh no, I do that. I've
4.
spoken so much that it's become kind of like a a checklist for me. But yeah, there'll be times when, like, if it's more like dinner party, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm leaving a dinner party, and it's like, well, you really told that joke in order to impress those people.
That's your 4. That's your 4 prosecuting your 3.
Yeah,
it's working you
really
over. It's like you get a
funny.
little tortured inside that head.
Yeah, really, it's really funny.